Item number G is the NAU
Madam,
capital projects update. Mr.
Madam
Thompson?
Chair, do we
Yes.
motion and second to return to regular scheduled meeting?
That's a good question. Mr. Attorney, do we do that?
It certainly is recommended.
Do we need-
What you've got is you have the end of the executive session. Just in case anybody wants a break or anything like that, I certainly would consider that that you have a vote to return to regular session.
Well,
I would
Mr.
so
Thompson,
move.
I'm gonna make, there you go. Who's our second?
Second, McCarthy.
So we have a motion by Mr. Thompson and a second by Mr. McCarthy to resume our regularly scheduled meeting. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that motion does carry. We are now going to go to item number G, our NAU capital projects update.
Madam Chair?
And this would be Mr. Mileback and pages, yes.
Yes. I want you to know that Andrew Iacona is here from NAU. He has a presentation. I need to ask if we can go past noon, if the board is ready to do that, or if we need to just move this to a future meeting.
I'm okay. This is Charlie.
Board,
McCarthy, move on.
okay. No one's
Yes.
indicated that they can't. So we'll go to-
Okay. Thank you. Andrew, you can take the screen, I think, at any time to do your presentation.
Excellent. Thank you. I will share now. Does everyone see the NAU current project screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Madam Chair and members of the board, thank you for allowing NAU the time to present a quick overview of our current projects that are active in either a planning, design, or construction phase. This presentation that I'll be sharing with you will cover about 11 of our more notable projects, which will detail each of the project missions, their key highlights, and their current status. And each project will also include an information slide followed by an image slide. So starting off here, we have the Student Athlete High Performance Facility Project. And this is a new building on NAU's campus to install a new basketball practice gym, weight room, student academic support space, Hall of Fame space, and will also support the sports medicine program and nutrition program. The new building total gross square footage is approximately 80,000 square feet, and the total project budget is anticipated to come in at $46 million. We recently began with construction out on the site and anticipate the work to take the next year to complete. This is a rendering looking to the southwest of the new facility from the existing practice field. You can see in the right side of the screen, that's where the dome is located. So this project is actually sited on the east side of San Francisco. If you can see on my screen here, the blue area is the area where this new building is being placed and developed. And it'll be a 3-story building, and it's going to be a very nice new facility with LEED Silver certification targeted for sustainability. So moving on from that project, we have the multidiscipline academic research STEM building project. This one's being referred to mainly as the STEM building project, and it is definitely one of NAU's largest projects to date. It's going to be a highly efficient, smart building on our mountain campus here in Flagstaff, within the area of the existing science corridor. So it's set to have a flexible mix of science and engineering research spaces. And we are targeting a total square footage of this building of 125,000 square feet. However, we are only going to build out about 80,000 square feet of this building at first, where we will shell approximately 2 floors, which would be 46,000 square feet. $100 million is the project budget for the building, and we anticipate up to $30 million worth of backfill and renovation space throughout the science corridor to kind of improve the connectivity as well as the relocations of folks into this building from their existing spaces. One of the great project highlights about this building is its target average EUI, which is the energy use intensity of a building, and it is targeting 80 kBTU per square foot year. Now that is a very ambitious goal. That's hard to achieve with most buildings, and this will be a research workhorse of a building, so that'll make it even more of a challenge. We recently started design on this project after a lengthy programming phase last summer and last fall, and we are anticipating construction to start next summer in May of 21. So this project is sited to go, like I said, at the end of our science corridor in the location of the existing Babbitt Academic Building and Peterson buildings. And you see on the screen here are rendering from the programming phase of what this building could look like, where the adjacent building to the east is the new Aquatic Center with Beaver Street in between them. Very excited about this building. It has a lot of great potential for collaborations, multi-academic collaborations across campus. So we have another project that's kind of a result of the STEM building project. It's the South Beaver New Academic Space Project. And this is a project where we'll also construct a new academic building directly to the east of the existing South Beaver School on NAU's property. So this complex will accommodate both the Babbitt Academic Annex relocated faculty and staff, as well as the program in intensive English. We anticipate the new building, standalone building, to be somewhere between 25,000 and 27,000 square feet. That'll be a two-story building. And there will be about 4,000 square feet of interior renovations to the existing Beaver School, mainly in the gymnasium area where other renovations had occurred a few years back. The new building adjacent to the Beaver School will have approximately 90 new offices, 70 of which are relocated from Babbitt, and 6 to 8 new classroom spaces, which are also spaces that are relocated from the existing Babbitt Academic Building. That project budget is just shy of $10 million, and it is being procured through the design build procurement process. We are in the process right now of procuring that design build team and hope to be in construction later this month, or sorry, not construction, design later this month, with construction starting sometime in the fall. So here's imagery of the site overhead, and you can see the red hatched area is where the new standalone building will be placed. And we also are anticipating that it will not impact the existing parking lot either. So moving on to our next project, we have our McConnell Sidewalk and Multimodal Improvements Project. The mission of this project is to provide a design solution for multimodal circulation and safety improvements to minimize the congestion of all nodes along McConnell Drive on NAU's Flagstaff campus. We're mainly focusing on that western edge where ADOT's right-of-way borders our property. This is a fun project. We're currently in a partnership with Mountain Line and are currently working on the traffic impact analysis to better understand the offsite mitigations that might be necessary, or how our design, our current concept will work with all of our adjacencies. So this, we anticipate that TIA submittal to go to ADOT later this week, and we'll be working through that throughout the summer to understand how we can have a solution here that not only improves safety and access to campus, but wayfinding and circulation for the region as well in regards to the on and off ramps of I-40, I-17 in this area. So this is an image of our current concept where we have a new roundabout at the intersection of Pine Knoll Drive. and a lighted intersection at Knowles Drive along this east-west McConnell corridor with bus-only slip lanes and a new bus loading area for high occupancy bus loading, unloading. And we also have separated bike lanes in some locations to help aid with the safety of the bicyclists. You'll also see here a sidewalk on the north side of the walkway here, and that'll be a 10-foot wide sidewalk where one is not existing currently. So this project does not have any budget besides the FTA grant we have to start design identified currently. We are actively pursuing fundraising opportunities and grant opportunities to help support the implementation and further design of this project, and are always looking to our partner agencies to support us in this shared mission of safety, access, and regional improvement. So because we know that this is about a $7 million installation and we're quite a few years out from its actual implementation, we want to do something in the meantime. So in partnership with ADOT, we have a sidewalk on the north side to connect to an ADOT sidewalk that is being installed with their bridge project this summer. So we are installing a long-term temporary sidewalk in the same area for connectivity through our Concrete 2020 annual maintenance budget. And so this will connect to the ADOT sidewalk on our western right-of-way and move people across the street safely. I have an image showing what that'll look like in just a second. This is a smaller project anticipating a budget of about $325,000. We're currently in plan review and have our job contractor working through the design elements for pricing right now. We hope to have construction start on June 1st. So this temporary long-term solution is actually going to have a smaller sidewalk so that we aren't impacting the FEMA-regulated floodway of Sinclair Wash without the realignment of McConnell Drive that would be required for that larger project I just mentioned, to a new crosswalk on the east side of Pine Knoll here, so that we can safely get students onto campus and at that bus transit station. So this location on the west end is where ADOT will be having their sidewalk connect to ours. That's going in with the current bridge project. So another very small project is a sidewalk connection along Knowles Drive that's missing. It's adjacent to the existing Gabaldon Hall, and it is providing a sidewalk that does not currently exist that's adjacent to our existing pedway. This will be constructed this summer. And here's an image of what the current situation looks like, where we have the adjacent pedway. However, students that come down this sidewalk tend to just walk along the road or in the landscape area to connect down to the sidewalk down here. So our new concept to the right will provide that complete street concept with the sidewalk on both sides so that we can eliminate that and keep students from walking in the street in this area. So another project, this is our Milton Route 66 new campus entry study. This one is coming to a conclusion. It is another partnership project with Mountain Line, in that we wanted to evaluate and determine the feasibility, benefits, constraints, challenges, etc., of adding a fourth leg to the intersection at Milton in State Route 66 to provide multimodal access to NAU's campus. We did identify through this effort and the traffic impact analysis that a direct connection to Knowles Drive on campus would have a negative impact on both Milton and campus's transportations. So we have identified that we will put a limited access gate to allow for transit and emergency vehicles that would connect to Knowles. And our through traffic is actually going to connect to the south to what would be the Riordan Ranch extension. So it would almost provide a little bit of a frontage road concept to Milton along this area where it is our property. This concept is just a piece of the study. There's a few more images that come along with it that I don't have time to share with you today. But we've also taken into consideration the potential future of Milton, the corridor here, and what of area for the necessary setback of a future section of Milton, as well as the future BRT stop in this on this facility as well. And we've also coordinated with the Flagstaff Urban Trail System Master Plan for connectivity to their cycle track. That is master planned for this area. You can see this cycle track here in green on the east side that would connect to the existing layout or the future layout of that Foots Trail through this area. So this project is somewhat of a shovel ready. We went through the TIA process with ADOT, and we are finishing that up right now. And this is our part of our concept. So we will be pursuing other grant opportunities to possibly turn this concept into a reality in the future. However, no design or construction is currently planned with this project. This will help inform a future campus master planning effort. And like I said, we'll keep our eye out for funding opportunities through the grant cycles for a project such as this. So another study that was recently performed and is currently being shared with the rest of our campus community is our strategic space utilization study. This study was an examination of our current utilization and appropriateness of spaces on campus to help inform the future master planning effort that will be hopefully kicking off sometime in the fall. It's definitely been postponed because of COVID. And right now we're anticipating that RFQ to go out in the fall, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's pushed back a little further than that. So this was a really interesting project to really understand what our current needs are and what our current state is. The next slide is some of the data that we gathered from this project. This is an image of all of our classroom sections in regards to our classroom size. Now, what we have on the top bar here are the sizes of these classrooms. So we have 0 classrooms of the 1 to 15 size. We have 25 classrooms of a 16 to 25 capacity size, 86 classrooms of this 26 to 40 capacity size, and so on. So in a perfect world, we have all of these classes scheduled in their appropriately sized classrooms. Well, in reality, we look like this. Most of our classes shift into larger sections than necessary, and they are not right-sized, and we're definitely overutilizing or underutilizing the space that we have. So this informed us that in the perfect scenario, we need 39 more classrooms of this 16 to 25 capacity size, but we have a surplus of the 26 to 40 capacity size by 33 classrooms, and so on. So this is really a matter of right sizing our classrooms and having data informed enrollments through the use of classroom scheduling softwares. There should be some fairly easy fixes and low-hanging cost-effective approaches to right sizing specific lecture-only classrooms that don't have special pedagogical needs for spaces in classrooms that fit their size, so that we could better adapt our classroom stock to the growing teaching and learning needs. This is all based on 2018 enrollment data. So how COVID impacts this and online learning, we are starting to evaluate that now, and hope to use this as well as our COVID plan to inform that future campus master planning effort. So another small project on paper, but large project in effort, is updating our campus logo. We basically are removing our old logos with the new NAU logo, and the big picture here is removing the shield from our logo, and this is happening throughout campus on wayfinding signage, campus building signage, vehicle logos, and at the McConnell entryway. This work will occur this summer, and you can see here some renderings of what these new logos look like. And these are photoshopped over photos of our existing signage around campus. So our next project is a new build, and it is a bus storage and maintenance facility project. This is our third of 3 partnership projects with Mountain Line, and this currently has funding through FTA Grant 5307 and 5339 with a 20% NAU match to move forward with a bus storage and maintenance facility that's shared by both agencies on NAU's campus. Currently, we house a majority of our fleet outdoors, and NAPTA has to run their buses back to their Casper location. So in order to make their process more efficient and to extend the life of our fleets, we are putting this project together to help support that with new infrastructure. And another also key highlight for this project is that the facility will have the infrastructure to support a transition to a zero emission fleet, most likely electric, so that we'll have the infrastructure in place for a electric charging of buses throughout the facility. And even beyond that, with connected vehicles and potentially autonomous vehicles, we plan to include in the programming of this facility. We're also hopeful to potentially also have a CDL test course that could be for multiple agencies in our region to utilize, since we know that one does not exist in our region, and it's a need not just by NAU and Mountain Line to have that CDL test course, but our other agency partners such as FUSD and the county and even the city. So we're hopeful that that would be part of this project as well. We are currently in the process of procuring our design team. The request for qualifications closed yesterday, and we received a couple handfuls of proposals that we'll be evaluating over the next week or so, and hopeful to select a consultant by the end of the month to start the design programming and design process on this project. So this project has 4 potential sites currently identified on NAU's property that you can see on the screen. The first one is right out in front of my building, facility services. So that's what we're calling the P64 for parking lot 64 site. Our second site is on our property behind this facility services building, adjacent to the APS substation. The third one is along this east to west APS easement, just east of Lone Tree. And the fourth one is just south of I-40, west of Lone Tree, and is also an undeveloped site. The first task of our design consultant will be to evaluate these 4 sites to help us determine which best suits our agency needs as well, and will happen simultaneously with the programming effort to better understand the shape, size, and type of building that will go into this project. So my last project that I have for you is just our Asphalt Streets 2020 project. This is our annual allocation to provide maintenance and repairs to NAU streets campus-wide. The project budget is about $300,000, and it is all going into the rebuild of Huffer Lane, just east of Pine Knoll Drive and kind of northwest of the Forestry Building. So this is where it's located on the map, whereas this is that McConnell Pine Knoll intersection. If we zoom in a little bit, this is what the area looks like. So this is a neat collaboration because the design of this was actually performed by 2 different capstone efforts in the civil engineering and construction management programs on campus, kind of an effort to strengthen that living laboratory ideal where our students are working on real life projects, and we are also reaping the benefits of the students working on projects on our campus. So this takes into account a drainage issue, ADA sidewalk access issue, as well as a failed street as a result of the drainage issue that will be rebuilt. So we did take that package that was delivered from these 2 capstone classes and handed it off to our engineer of record to basically do a check and, stamp the plans to push them into construction. And we anticipate work on this starting around the 1st of June as well. So with that concludes the NAU projects that I have to share with you today. Again, I really appreciate your time. I know we ran late. I tried to get through this as quick as possible, but I will open the floor to any questions that you might have.
This is Vice Chair Odegaard. Is there any questions or from the other board members?
Jim McCarthy, no questions, but I found that to be a very interesting conversation or presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, likewise.
So, okay, Mr. Lacona, that was very good. I found it very informative, and the City of Flagstaff Council body does have an annual, and I think maybe even a semi-annual meeting with President Chang. I would love to see this presentation at some future meeting when we have that. So I'll make a suggestion to the mayor and also to our city manager, because our city manager actually does the agenda with the working of partnering agencies when we have those collaborative meetings at the city council chambers. And so I would say thank you very much. I found it very, as Councilmember McCarthy said, fascinating and very informative. So thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we continued on with the meeting to have this presentation. So again, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
So Mr. Meilbeck, we have agenda item H, and I was wondering, would that be a quick going over? Will that be lengthy?
Mr. Chair, I just been communicating with David Wessel, and we can move that to next month. There are no surprises in it, and it's information only.
Okay, that would be great. So we'll continue on to item I. So any items from the executive director? So I'll hand this off to Mr. Meilbeck.
Mr. Chairman or Vice Chair, members of the board, I just want to make sure you understand that the build grant, $7 million for 4th Street, is going to be submitted May 18th, before May 18th. And also there has been discussion about ADOT transitioning funding from the Rio de Flag Bridge. I know City Council discussed it last week. I wanted the other board members to know that there was a funding shift, and the city's looking at it, and Metro Plan is, we are doing what we can to support the city. And that concludes my report.
Charlie, can I comment to that last item?
Yeah, go ahead, Councilmember McCarthy.
At the city council meeting, Mr. Odegaard suggested that city council members speak at the transportation board meeting on the 15th and show additional support for the bridge at Route 66. I would just suggest that anyone on this call could do that and throw some weight in that direction.
Yeah, and thank you, Councilmember McCarthy. Yes, the city staff is going to put out to the city council body an invitation and also an opportunity to comment at the May 15th ADOT board meeting at 9 a.m. I know the city staff is going to lead all those efforts, but maybe Mr. Meilbeck can lead the efforts on Metro plans if there's any members of the Metro Plan board that are not city council members to weigh in. I know Mr. Thompson won't have it because you'll be in that meeting, but there's also an opportunity with our County Board of Supervisors with Supervisor Ryan, Supervisor Babbitt, and also Supervisor Parks, who is an alternate to the Metro Plan board, that maybe there's an opportunity, those supervisors could weigh in at that 9 o'clock meeting on May 15th. just to let supervisors know, and I've also explained this to my colleagues on the city council, that on May 15th at 9 a.m., they'll take public comment. It's up to 3 minutes and talk about whatever. And I know the city council, I believe all of my colleagues is on board to weigh in at 9 a.m. And we'll have talking points that will be provided by city staff. And then for the County Board of Supervisors, maybe Mr. Milbeck, if there is interest among the supervisors that are the board members on Metro Plan to speak, and then maybe Mr. Milbeck can provide talking points with the workings of city staff members. Does that sound like a good plan, Mr. Milbeck?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, yes, I have taken a note. I will follow up with our non-city council Metro Plan board members and see if they can attend and provide talking points if they can.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and comment, Charlie. Yeah, usually we try and coordinate these, and you know, each group provide different input. So it's just a matter of checking everybody's schedules and making sure we could. But it'd be good to have one or some of us as spokesman for the sake of either Metro Plan or coming from the county perspective. So good idea. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Supervisor Ryan. That would be very much appreciated. I don't know if you know the history, but this is a project that ADOT was supposed to do in the fiscal year of 20, which is the year that we're in, and the city of Flagstaff concerning this Rio de Flag bridge over there by City Hall. But unfortunately, ADOT kind of pulled the rug under the city of Flagstaff with the timing of everything. And so they postponed it to fiscal year 21, which starts July 1st. We would love to see ADOT put that project with the funding back in the schedule for first quarter of fiscal year 21. But I'll leave it out to Mr. Milbeck to provide some of those background information and the talking points. And so that would be wonderful if one of the supervisors can comment at the May 15th meeting. So thank you, Supervisor Ryan.
Now there is a fee for that, though, so we'll negotiate that later on. Okay. Just
like
kidding.
ADOT, Metro Plan has no money.
Very good. Just kidding. Thank you.
So I guess we'll move on to item number 5, closing business. Is there any items from the board that they would like to share with the other board members?
Nothing today, Jim McCarthy.
I don't have anything for Thompson.
I just want to just feel special about being in the just proximity or on the same call as the grandfather of the supervisors, Jesse Thompson.
Well, right.
I thank
Yeah.
y'all. And no,
Yeah.
it's been a good meeting, and thank you.
Councilmember Salas?
Well, I just want to give props to Mr. Vice Chair, Council Member Odegaard, for being a watchdog of our projects and funding, and for attending, the virtual meeting of the State Transportation Board last week, and you were the first to find out in real time what the State Transportation Board has done with to the funding for the bridge. So thank you, and thank you to our Executive Director and Miss Rosie and Dave. Thank you to staff, and thank you for a productive meeting.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Salas. And I just saw a chat from John Wines to everyone about the revised draft 5-year facility construction program that will be available before the May 15th meeting. So I'll let Mr. Milbeck and Dave Wessel look at that. And then I think that's about it. And I think I'll adjourn the meeting. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.